Thank you, Mark. I tell you, this is quite an assembly. It just shows you the magic of the name Tyson. Now, I'm just going to talk about Mike Tyson, the fighter, the man that erupted onto the stage, and he decimated the ranks of heavyweights like nobody has done since maybe Jack Dempsey and Joe Louis. But this was the youngest world heavyweight champion the world's ever seen, a 5-time world heavyweight champion, one of the great left hookers of all time. And he carried almost that primitive lust for battle that was there with Jack Dempsey, Rocky Marciano, Stanley Ketchel. Very few fighters have it. And Mike is unquestionably one of the greatest fighters that ever lived. As a young man, he was already being compared with the greats. Louis, Dempsey, Marciano, the incomparable Muhammed Ali, and one of Mike's favorites, Sonny Liston, one of the most underrated heavyweight champions that ever lived. Mike is truly a legend in his own lifetime. He's here as one of the all-time greats. We respect him for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say that this assembly is first and foremost aimed at Mike Tyson, the great fighter, and the questions I would like to be relevant to Mike's career as a pugilist above all other. Questions will be taken from the floor by boxing journalists, also television journalists. When you get up, I'd like you to give us your name and pose the question. But first of all, I'd like Mr. Damon Bingham, Damon, you really look like a star. I can see you getting married. He's lost so much weight since he was last year. I tell you what, I never recognized Damon. He looks tremendous. Damon, I'd like you just to say something to the assembly, as well as I and Mike.
I just want to say thanks to Emperor's Palace, thanks to Golden Gloves Promotions, and thanks to all of South Africa for having me back and for having Mike here. As many of you know, I was here last year with Layla Ali, and I had a tremendous time. We showed nothing but great hospitality by Emperors and Golden Gloves, and I am excited to be here, as well as Mike is excited to be here for his first trip to South Africa. Thank you.
Then, of course, Damon Bingham, second trip to our shores. Third trip, sorry, Damon, third trip. We're always glad to see Damon, and we wish him a very, very pleasant stay. I said to Damon last year, this time, Damon, you'll be back, and he's back. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. And then the modern Jack Dempsey. I call him the modern Jack Dempsey because Dempsey was my idol. But I happen to know that Mike Tyson also loved Jack Dempsey. The great Mike Tyson. Daryl Francis, right next to Mike, and also one of the brains behind the Tyson operation. Daryl Francis. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's going to be a lot of questions. If you could put up your hand, one of our ladies, our lovely ladies in the audience, will take your mic.
But how would you like to be remembered as a fighter?
I'm just happy to be remembered. In your opinion, who is the greatest heavyweight champion of all time? Oh, no doubt, Muhammad Ali.
Mike said Muhammad Ali.
And why is that? I mean, some people say Joe Louis, Terry there will say Jack Dempsey. It's just an obvious reason, because with Muhammad Ali, he had such a desire to win. He had the great speed, great anticipation, great mind, and it's just the anticipation of wanting to win was just an animal. He was the greatest. Nothing like that.
I want to ask Mike a question. Mike, it must have been 1980. I sent a fighter, it was my dearest fighter ever, his name was Charlie Weir.
I met Charlie Weir.
And he came back, and I saw you on the press conference wearing a Sanya t-shirt that you'd given me. But he said something worth noting. He said he watched a 13-year-old kid knocking out 19-year-olds. He said, that's going to be the greatest fighter the world's ever seen. And that was you.
I'm glad he thought that. Now, so just as a follow-up, now, how would you have handled Muhammad Ali if you had a chance to engage him in the ring? I have no idea. I would have just fought the hard as I could.
And thrown lots of left hooks.
Mike, people know you as a boxer, and surely South Africans would have loved to see you in action here in the country. Now you retired. Any chances of coming here for one of your exhibition bouts?
No, I don't think I'm interested in even fighting anymore in a playful manner anymore. I don't think I like it anymore. I don't think I like it as a sport. I don't even watch it as much as I used to. It's not as exciting to me as it once was. I think I have some of the bad taste of fighting in my mouth.
Mike, how much of today's boxing do you watch, and what are your thoughts about the current state of the heavyweight division? Do you watch much boxing?
I don't watch much boxing nowadays. I watch the fighting. I normally watch basically small guys, like Ricky Hatton and those guys. I watch the smaller weight division because they seem to be more exciting than the heavyweights nowadays.
How come a great fighter like you never became a trainer of young up-and-coming fighters?
I'm not. It takes a lot of responsibility for that. I don't think I'm responsible enough for that stuff. I still like to hang out and be with my friends, and I don't think I'm responsible enough. But it takes a great deal of responsibility for somebody to respect you, to leave their child with you, to respect you, to raise that child basically for 10 hours or 11 hours a day. So I'm not ready for that. I have a hard enough time raising my children, so handle someone else's kids is just be overwhelming to me.
You've admitted that you don't watch a lot of boxing these days. In fact, you're less interested in boxing. Can you give us roughly what do you do? We know you've got kids. How many kids? Boys, girls? How old are they?
I do basically what I want to do. I hang out with my kids. I travel all over the world to events similar to this. And other than that, I'm boring. I go and I fix my house up and I do primitive things, basically.
And then also, Mike's been working on a documentary that's going to come out later in the year.
Oh, I forgot about that. My documentary, my book, and my movie. I forgot about this stuff.
But There's a documentary coming out later in the year. It's going to be on Mike's life. It's directed by James Kovac, and it's going to be the documentary that everybody's going to see that tells the real story about Mike, his career. It talks about his entire career, and it's going to be a wonderful movie.
Yeah, obviously, but are you prepared to tell us how many kids you have right now you're living with? How old are they? Boys, girls? What kind of sport are they doing? Any one of them maybe interested in boxing?
No, none of my children are interested in boxing. I make sure that they're just basic kids. They're just normal kids.
Did we need to move on? I've got a lot of hands. Saib, you got a question there?
They like singing and music and all that kind of stuff. They don't like any sports, swimming and all that stuff. One of my sons like football.
How old are they?
They go from 2 to 18. I have a daughter in college, believe it or not. I feel so old.
Mike?
Yes.
Your opinion on today's state of American boxing, especially the heavyweight, because we see champions coming from the old Soviet bloc now. What's your take?
I haven't been watching much, but I saw Vladimir Klitschko is still champion. He's been champion for a long time, and so that tells me that there hasn't been any American boxers good enough to defeat him.
Right.
The Soviet Union always had good fighters. They just never had a chance to come over here and compete as professionals.
Mike, who helped you most to become what you became, the world boxing champion, and also who was most detrimental in harming your career? And then just one last point. What are your feelings about being in South Africa and coming here?
Customado was the most influential person in my career, and I'm my own worst enemy in anything I ever did. Even though other people are probably involved, the only common denominator was that I was always there. So I always had to take the responsibility for myself.
How do you feel about being in South Africa now?
Well, I don't have any opinion. I just arrived.
Deon?
Hi, Mike. If you could send a message back in time to 18-year-old Mike Tyson, what advice would you give him?
I don't know. I wouldn't have any message. I was perfect back
Mike, I'm sure you've watched Mayweather, and then I'm sure you've got an opinion as far as that is concerned. And the other question that I would like to ask you is, how's the relationship today with Don King?
I have a good relationship with everyone. I just never see Don King, but I don't have any harmful relationship with anyone. The first thing I realized is that staying happy in your life is to cut all negative ties and not have any grudges against anyone. Once you have those grudges and you don't cut those grudges, you can never restore happiness in your life. What about Mayweather? Excuse me? Oh, he's the greatest. Nowadays, no one could beat him.
Mike, your sweetest knockout?
I don't know. I have to go around and ask everybody knocked out how I know. I've never been hit by me.
We're gonna take 3 more questions, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, because I think you can appreciate Mike is very, very tired.
Mike, you always had a reputation as a huge puncher. Who was the hardest puncher you ever faced in a ring, in a title fight?
I don't know. Shoot. I guess when you're knocked out, you don't even feel it, so you don't know if it's the hardest punch you've ever been hit with. So I really can't. Probably Razor Ruddock.
Razor Ruddock.
Okay, another 2 questions, gentlemen.
Just if I can ask you, are you going to see Winnie Mandela? Have you got any confirmed plans on that? I understand she's quite a hero to you, and why?
I'm not confirmed if I'm going to meet her or not, but I just, you cannot be a human being and live under human circumstances and not be a fan of Winnie Mandela. She's just a spirited woman. Just she represents everything as far as overcoming. I met her once before in New York City, and that's how I become friendly with her.
What's your relationship now with Evander Hollyfield?
I don't know. Me and Evander's we have a pretty cool relationship. Pretty decent friends. We have nothing against one another.
Please join me in welcoming Mike to South Africa.